Okay, so we're going to finish this with the last part here. We're looking at a summary between the differences between elements, compounds, and mixtures. So these are the various things that we're going to compare. First one, let's look at in terms of the composition. Okay, composition. Now, elements have a fixed composition. So we know that, for example, O2, it means that there are two oxygen combined together. H2, two hydrogens combined together. Okay, so these elements, okay, they actually have a fixed composition. How about compounds? We also know that they have fixed composition. Okay, so they have fixed composition. So we say, or sometimes you'll see the word constant composition. Okay, so example would be like what I mentioned previously, CO2, H2O, all these are fixed composition. Now, but for mixture, okay, it varies, okay, or I should say it changes. Now, so what this means is that it's not fixed, okay, it can be in any ratio, any percentage that you want. Next one, let's look at in terms of the melting and boiling point. Now, for elements and compounds, if you look at the definition, they say that both of them are considered pure substances. Okay, so elements are considered pure, compounds are considered pure. Any pure substances will have fixed melting point and boiling point. So if I go by that concept, compounds, if they are pure compounds, they will also have fixed, or I should say constant, melting and boiling point. Whereas for mixture, because you realize for definition of mixture, there isn't the word pure over there. Okay, it's just two or more substances that are not chemically combined together. So for mixture here, okay, it is actually considered an impure substance. We will take it as it has a varying. The boiling and melting point actually varies. So it actually melts over a range. Okay, melts over a range, or it actually also boils over a range. Okay, it's not fixed. We'll cover this a little bit more in the next chapter also. Now, in terms of separation, for elements, they cannot be split into simpler substances. Okay, for compounds, we know in terms of separation, there's only one type of separation that can do it. It's actually by chemical processes. Whereas for mixture, we actually separate them by physical processes. So if you remember in the previous chapter, we did mention, okay, so what are some of the chemical processes? We have thermal decomposition, so breaking down by heat, all right, thermal decomposition. We have also electrolysis, using electricity to break down the substance. Now, for mixture-wise, okay, the physical processes that we mentioned previously was actually you can use a magnet to possibly separate them, a possible method. You could also try to use filtration if it is solid and liquid just mixed together. Or last one, you can actually use distillation. This is mainly for dissolved substances, for example, salt in water. Okay, so that's in terms of how you can separate the compounds and separate mixtures. So you can see is elements cannot be separated further. Compounds can only be separated by chemical processes, whereas for mixture, it can only separate by physical processes. In terms of decomposition wise, okay, it's not applicable for mixtures because you can't really decompose them. But for compounds, yes, you can decompose them, which means to break them down. So what processes do you use? Okay, as mentioned above, so thermal decomposition. Okay. The other one is you can use is also electrolysis. Next one. Okay, chemical and physical properties. Okay, because we know everything's are formed by elements. So if it's an element, obviously the property depends on what element they are. That's why it says depends on the element. Okay, so different elements have different properties. So if it's a metal, okay, for example, copper, obviously the property, the chemical and physical property depend on the element copper itself. But if things have reacted when it's a compound, okay, we do know that the chemical and physical properties is different, okay, different from its constituent elements. Okay, so that's for compounds, whereas for mixtures, it is the same as its components. So do take note the difference in terms of the chemical and physical properties. For elements, it depends on what element it is. For compounds, it is definitely different from its constituent elements. Whereas for mixtures, yeah, it's the same as its component that made it. Now, last one in terms of combustion. So combustion actually just means that you put oxygen with it and let it react. So any element that reacts with oxygen, okay, actually only one product is formed. Whereas if it is a compound, you may get two or more, sorry, let me erase this, two or more compounds form. Sorry, two or more substances form. Right? Let's not use the word compound. Two or more products form. Okay. Same thing for mixture because it has different things within it. So there will also be two or more products formed. So this is a summary for your worksheet 4.5 in terms of the differences between elements, compounds, and mixtures. Please put a star for this because this page is going to be very, very useful for your future worksheets. Okay, this will be a very good reference. That's all. Thank you, folks.